Hello and welcome in. My name is DrumRollTony. I'm a streamer and Twitch musician and music teacher living in Seattle. Aishite. We're going to do it. But first, we got to talk about it. We did do the original like 10 months ago. It was a Patreon request. I'm going to try to say it. Kikuo, I'm probably saying that wrong. You can help me out in the comments. But Love Me, Love Me, Love Me. Great song. I'm transparent. I don't really I'm not into Vocaloid that much. However, that song kicks ass, man. It's really good. The vocals are cool. Like it sounds good. And the instrumentation is like out of this world. Like I never forgot it. So now, technically, we have not done Otto's version on the channel, but when I found out I was going to go to the concert and made plans for that, Otto's playlist was in my, every day in the gym. That's what I was listening to. I was getting ready, and I heard this song. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my God, I remember this. Because normally on the channel, if you're a friend of the channel, we do first time listens here. So I'm not going to lie to you. This is not a first time listen. We've listened to the Vocaloid version. I've listened to Otto's version, but I've never done a surface level musical analysis on it. We haven't talked about it. So that will be there. Now, if you happen to watch the other video, I'm going to repeat myself in some things. I can't not listen to, I just actually re-listened to the Vocaloid version before, just 5 minutes ago, just to hear it again, to check out some differences. If they exist, they must. I'm sure they do. But if I do make some similar comments, I can't, I just can't shut my ears off and not talk about some things. So I'm excited for this. Let's go. So playful. I'm so sorry to stop it on the drop, but there's so much to talk about. My God, it's so good. I feel like, I was just on vacation. I just had some pool time and I was listening to Otto and I was like, she reminds me of Janis Joplin, a little bit. Otto's way more modern and things have developed more, but I put on some throwback tunes and it's just the dynamic, aggressive shifts, kind of the clean tones, so the more aggressive, broken, distorted tones. I'm not a vocalist. I don't speak the correct words, but I can describe the music to you and kind of the, just how it's applied. It's cool. Anyway, the beginning of this, it's a minute full of just so many things happening between crazy differences in vocal displays of styles, almost character-like changes, and just epic pit percussion stuff going on, and these really cool arpeggios and playful, I don't know, almost Broadway boom pop boom pop pop stuff going on with tuba and timpani. It's just really cool. Let's talk about this opening groove, and this is probably similar stuff that I said about the Vocaloid one already, but we're here right now. The fidelity is amazing. The way it sounds is very, very, very present. I love it. So hold on, check this out. Obviously in a very strong 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could also feel it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But since there's two sides of the phrases, 6, 8 kind of feels more appropriate. However, it's got some spice on it, right? It's not just a straight 6, because listen to this, the toy piano introduction here. We got some backside swing on it, man. It makes it a little bit funky, so it's it'd be cool if it was just completely a straight 6. That would be cool too, but it's not. It just has a little spice to it, and it just, for me, the listening experience feels in a better place. And that right there, it almost feels like you take a pot pan, hit it and dip it in water just to bend the pitch. It's not that, but it just, that kind of for me, that's kind of the origination of where that sound could be from, its origin story. But it just gives it that. The only reason I'm even talking about it is because it's so unconventional, considering the vocals that come in after the fact. Because you hear that, I just never would have thought there'd be this gorgeous vocal line happening. But there is. One more time, and we'll let it continue. And then It's a ridiculous amount of percussion. And sorry, we're stopping a lot. If you're new to the channel, we do surface level musical analysis. We stop a lot. We talk about things. There's too much to talk about. So just be patient. She's worth it. It's worthwhile. Typically when we play mallet percussion, you're playing melodic stuff. Maybe you play 2 mallets, maybe you play 4 mallets, maybe you're super advanced, you play 3 mallets per hand. Who knows? There's a lot of variance out there of the type of players we get. This feels way more like pit percussion, like kind of like, musicals type stuff. But the amount of glissandos that are happening, it's like almost comical, but like, cause it's like so unconventional considering what's happening in the vocal line. Usually a gliss is like you take them out and you just kind of like rake it along all like the keyboard notes. But we're getting like so much. And then there's like these chromatic lines happening and then the glissandos happening again. There's just a lot to listen to and it's super fun. Like it's like I used to play this guy, Ian Finkel, man. He was such a killer. Unfortunately, COVID got him, but he was like one of the world's greatest xylophone players, and he would do the most ridiculous. It was such a fun show to play. Anyway, that's besides the point. It just makes me happy when I hear it, though, because there's just a lot of unconventional things happening all at once, but it is a beautiful, organized kind of chaos stacked on top of each other, because listen to the vocal line on top of the percussion. Beautiful. And then, yeah, you get, so we're at 6/8. So you take, for every 8th note, 1, 2, 3, you're going to put in 3 16th notes. So you could count it like 1 lali, 2 lali, 3 lali. You could say, da-ga-da, da-ga-da, da-ga-da. It's probably easier to say, da-ga-da, da-ga-da, da-ga-da. It depends, whatever. It's kind of nerdy. Da-ga-da, 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 da-ga-da. It's pretty, sorry. Da-ga-da, 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 da-ga-da. There we go. They're just 9lets because you're fitting 9 notes in the place of 3, but it grooves them, man, and they kind of crescendo. Has a kind of an old school snare drum sound in there. So I don't know, I dig it quite a bit. This one's a lot of fun to play with on a practice pad. Listen to that. Dude, what is going on, man? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The focus point now shifts from the strong beats, the 1 and the 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everything was focus 1, focus 4. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's gorgeous. And you have the mallet percussion, like the dynamic goes away, and you just have this little delicate mallet stuff supporting the voice right there. Come on, man. Accordion comes in, then you get the simulated bass or tuba lines where we're going to exist between. They're both a similar role. Snare drum comes in, and you have a complete, the design just blossoms. That's a good word for it. The design blossoms into a color of sound that is so cute and playful, but purposeful, and does not foreshadow where the voice is going to go shortly. Like that, to me, is probably the most, I guess, important and impressive parts of where the original arrangement is, like musically, and then what Otto does with it, taking, a Vocaloid voice and then putting a human voice on top of that, and where it should go, and all the things that she has the ability to do because she's simply amazing. The vibes there too, vibraphone. And that's the first time we get it in this piece, because that dynamic shift and the intensity, again, I don't know the correct vocabulary, the verbiage for y'all vocal people, but that's the first spot, and it stabs right there. It's quite good, but it's weird, not weird in a bad way, weird in a great way, because it's so unconventional. If you listen to how beautiful the vibes come in there, and then the little light piano stuff that's happening, you don't really expect that to happen. That's so. Listen to that. Boom, boom. Well, that just feels, it almost feels like a march there. Like maybe we're, now we're like downtown Paris and other things are happening. Like it just, there's so much stuff going on, man. And it's like, it's playful, yet still has the components to launch us. We're about to go. All right, this time I will not hit pause. We'll let it go into the drop. Listen to the snare drum, man. It's cool. That's scary. That is fucking bonkers, dude. No one can deny that shit. That is absolutely crazy. That's unique, man. I don't really know. I mean, I'm just a musician, right? You can't know everybody. I know a lot of great musicians globally. Can't know everybody. She's one of them, though. Like, oh my God, is anybody else doing that? Is anybody else able to portray so many different angles? Because normally when you gig with somebody, like I have years and years and years of experience playing with professional vocalists, like around the world. And you work with someone for, months at a time, and you know what their sound is. They have, like each person has their, like, if they've got the gig at that point, they're generally pretty good, but they have their sound, they do what they do. They have their style. They have their twist they put on things. But, you do the gig with them and you know what they sound like for the rest of your life. You're like, cool. Otto's like, we just heard like how many different interpretations of sound was given to us, from extremely light, like airy, feathery dynamics to just screaming, like, and then beautiful, like, sounds like a very different vocalist with this mid-range tone, and then it goes to this like extremely nasally part. Again, I don't have the vocab. I don't know how to talk about it, but I can tell you real world experience how not normal it is. This is great because she's so like multifaceted. So the gigs will stay there forever. And I don't know, maybe she's like etched out like this is like a super unique platform for herself, or maybe it's more common than I know, and I'm just not exposed to it yet. But at the same time, does it matter? No, it doesn't, man, because we're just appreciating her for her. Like, this is what we're doing. And it's amazing because for me, it's unique enough to be like, God damn, this is like, it's super moving. Okay, let's listen to this part again, and we're going to stop in, chunks here to talk about what's going on underneath. And I'm sure the first thing that jumps out at you, it's pretty blatant, is the addition of the electric bass. And that drives the floor completely different than anything else we've had. We're a minute in, we're just over 60 seconds, and you finally get that low end to kind of balance out all the treble side of the cute factors. And now this big aggressive part hits. And, it's like there's, and it can be in your chest. Imagine how low, well, I can't imagine because I've luckily been lucky enough to experience it. But think about on the design aspect when that jumps in and they're like, what else should we add? Oh, I don't know. Let's make these speed of notes between the accordion and then whatever's going on the right side, whether it's piano related stuff or acoustic guitar. I'm not totally sure yet, but that's the relationship of what's happening, because that's like super demanding, right? There's a lot of notes going on. Right here, check it out. It's hard to pick out because there's so much. So there's a lot of chording type instruments, meaning chording, comping, like whether it's electronic keyboard, piano, guitar is more mallet, like could it be vibraphones, marimba? They're all kind of similar in the timbre. Timbre just means sound. There's like the families of sounds there. The roles are very similar. But the whole reason I even like took that much time to talk about it, because how cool is that, right? Like those combinations with accordion and like all these like ramming notes, like it's fun, and it makes the drop that much more important of a drop. And it just, the fidelity experience that we're getting right now is very, very good. All right, let's keep going. Dude, the xylophone on the left side is fucking hauling ass. That is ridiculous, man. Like, whether it's probably all programmed in a DAW, but like if you're gonna play it live, someone's got to have they gotta have some chops, man. Like those people exist. It's not like impossible, but it's impressive when it happens. How cool is that? So I imagine you have enough foundations. If you weren't listening down before, you are now. You'd be like, oh yeah, that is a lot of glissandos. There is a lot of percussion there. Oh, that's cool with like the way we have our bass lines, boom, bop, bop, boom, bop, bop, almost circus-like, kind of, it just feels like if you're a pit musician, you've played many countless hours of music like this. You can like do it in your sleep. Not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's very fun, right? But none of it was in a context like this, though. I'm pretty comfortable when I say that. You never had someone up on the stage singing this kind of stuff when you were playing those parts. Would I like that? Oh, yeah, man. Put me in the band. Man, Can you imagine being in her band? That would just be, when I went to the show, I was just looking at her band going, man, yeah, I'm so jealous. I would put everything on pause, dude. Can you imagine? Anyway, back a couple seconds. Let's keep going. The reverse makes it hit, man. What a cool way to put some variety in that, right? You just put the reverse speed on that, then you add a little bit of syncopation with the kick drum, the bass drum stuff that was going on there. It just, not much else was different. It's just little percussion differences. We're just going to go back 15 seconds. I promise I'll let it go. I just feel like these things are important enough to talk about it for a second time so your ear can go to it, just in case you're just passively listening. You want to make sure you're actively listening. Camping out in that bass note too is different. That's cool. Wow. Similar there. Oh, there we go. And then the reverse drop. Oh my God, so big brained, right? Oh, if we go back. Okay, so the obvious thing, you're going to be like, yeah, Tony, we know what you're going to talk about. You can talk about the bassist. Yeah, damn right. Listen how loud the electric bass player is now in the mix. What a different just articulation experience it is, right? Like the floor is gone, the percussion's pulled away. We get the bass player, we put him up in the mix, and it supports the vocals in a way that we haven't had. It's 2 minutes 5 in. We haven't had that yet. So it's completely, we have similar melodic content happening. It's the same chord progression. Stylistically, like 500-foot view, it's the same. It's not, but it's the same, right? If you're just like really, really passive listening, it's the same. You get in it though, and you're like, oh my God, these differences are so huge. And it makes those little nuances just feel like gold if you think about it. You know? We haven't done that. We did at the beginning. We haven't had do that. There's so much spice, man. Like, it's hip for real. You can hear all that. And then the release into the whisper tone. It's just, there's so much musical theater in here. If you've never really, musical theater gets a bad rep. Like, you know, some people are like, oh, it's weird. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to listen to, but, you know, try it out. You know, check out some things. Because the reason I'm making the comparison is because her voice feels like almost like a cast. Because in theater, you know, you do have features that are like feature one cast member. It's like it's like their big moment. But often, you know, you have 4 singers singing together, 5, 6, and the parts are interacting and they're interacting with each other, and it's very playful. And you know, it's not always playful. It's just, there's so much variety. I feel like we get that from Otto in a lot of songs. It's not just a song. She's so good at kind of like, I don't know, capturing a lot of different angles. And the reason we stop and talk about it is you have to remember, it's difficult to do. It's a higher musical demand to portray so many different display of like voice styles and characters within that, and do it back to back to back to back, right? Especially when you do it live. And let me tell you, live, she's good, man. Her songs sound like her recordings. Like, it's legit. So that's the reason we stop and talk about it, because I'm a person that values, you know, musical demand. The harder something is, music does not need to be difficult to be good. However, it is good to not be ignorant to how demanding some music is, and to give it the praise that it should have, especially from a compositional standpoint and a performance standpoint, because that's big kudos, man. And I feel like, you know, you're probably not you're not on the channel to be an average listener. You're here to be like, let's talk about how to be an above average listener. And those are the things that are important. So, You know, if you already are in love with Otto and her vocals, you can love her that much more just because just understand that she's doing something musically. The whole demand, it's the bucket. The bucket is heavier. I don't know why we're doing a bucket analogy, but we are. Anyway. The tone of the bass is cool too. Similar. Oh, great percussion fills there. Isn't that wild? It's still the chorus, but it felt like a bridge. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get to the drop, you've heard it twice before, and then suddenly it's pianissimo dynamic. It's whisper tone. Everything is different, yet everything is the same. Like, you have to, like, you got to give so much credit. And then within that, there's this cool little vibrato stylings going on. There's just so much. I'm sorry I'm making this. We've gone for 20 minutes, you know, like, it is what it is. There's just so much stuff to talk about, even though the song's only 4 minutes long. I don't know. I just can't do it, man. I just want to share with you where my brain goes when we stop. Because, like, don't think I just do this for YouTube videos. This is what I do on my own. Like, oh, listen to this. And I go back and stop. I'm like, oh, this is all the shit that's going on. I mean, you kind of have to, like, as a musician, like, you need to be listening down in the swamp. You got to be down deep in it because, you know, at some point you're going to have to recreate these things or do them real time as they happen. Your ears have to be, you know, developed. Beautiful relationship to piano there. Vocals to piano. The control of the whisper tone to that vibrato right there is absolutely gorgeous. Listen to that. You had kick drum, boom, boom, but nothing has been that dissolved. Like, the lowest common denominator happens pretty much right there at the 2 minute and probably 50-second mark, right? We have not had that at all. We just had some low dynamic points, but we did not have a single hit every 2 bars, a single bass drum hit, and then a piano response. Why does that happen? Obviously, it's to set us up and propel us to the climax of the song. You have to get, like, the team that's involved in taking, you know, the arrangement from the original, putting it here, all the ideas, the way you're going to score it out. Like, there are so many brains and creativity involved. That's why musicians and creative folks are great. We're not going to rant at all. That's why I fucking hate AI and, like, people typing in prompts and erasing that process. We won't go there, but hopefully we talk about this shit enough. It's super important. Anyway, so let's play it out. Here we go. At the end. It's too good, man. It's too good. It's so good. It's too good. So there were some variations on the bass line. It did like ascending sequence. We had not had it at all. It kind of sent you. It really helped push the climax there. So Very good. Obviously, the vocals explode in there at the end, and then we just resolve and we get our like dipping sounds once again. So there it is. Sorry, I know this video went super long. If you're still here at the end, you can like put like a little wave emote there in the comments. I appreciate you. All right. My name is DrumRollTony. Catch me when I'm live on Twitch. Link for all the socials down in the video description below. We're watching a lot of anime on Patreon. Patreon's really cool. We're just missing one thing. That is you. Please and thank you. Click the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. YouTube thinks you want to watch one of these two videos next. Have a great day. Take it easy. Bye-bye.